Hello everyone, this is Liam here. A while ago, as you're probably aware, hopefully, I posted a big video on the history of the Dawn games and Elite Beat Agents. In this video, I spoke to some of the developers who worked on it to learn more about their work and uncover some trivia about their development and certain projects that didn't make it. Ever since then, I've been keeping a close eye on reactions to that video and some of the other EBA content I've been posting, and there is one piece of feedback that seems to recur over and over again. Why didn't I ask the developers about this game, Ors, or Osu as some people pronounce it? For those unaware, Ors is a PC fan game that was directly inspired by Dawn. It's been around for about a decade, but still has an active fan community updating it with new songs on the regular. A lot of people have asked me why I didn't ask the developers about this, given its popularity. It's a good question, but in actuality, I did ask them about it, I just chose not to include that in my video. I'll explain why in a minute for those who care, but for your satisfaction, here are some clips of the Elite Beat Agents and the Dawn developers sharing their thoughts on Ors. We start with David Ventura, the former head of technology from Innis, who worked on both Elite Beat Agents and the original Dawn. I guess one thing I should ask you, because I always ask this to any former Innis people, what do you think of Ors, or Osu as some people call it, the fan game that was kind of built around the mechanics of Dawn? Have you tried that?
Yeah, I think that I feel like I got a developer application at some point when I was working at Ennis of someone who had made a level or something like that, or they wanted to show us that as part of their application package. I think, yeah, that's great. I mean, power to you guys. I think it's fine. I think that as developers, with like limited amounts of revenue coming from IP and things like that, as long as it's not shrinking the market, if it's not stealing from somebody who would potentially buy a copy of Dawn or Elite Beat Agents, I think it's fine, and that's great that it builds up the culture and that people are there fanatical about it, and I think that's fantastic. So to that, in that sense, it's a very warming tribute that the community loved the material so much that they wanted to take it in that direction.
I should also mention that David has a brand new music game coming to the Nintendo Switch this month called Hexagroove. It's out October 3rd, so if you're a fan of Dawn and EBA, his other games, check that out. Next up is a clip from another discussion I had, this time with the creator of Dawn and Elite Beat Agents himself, Keiichi Yano. Yeah, have you had much time to play around with Osu? That free play game going on?
I have a friend that has a Surface notebook, and you couple that with with an input pen, and it actually is pretty close. So it's I can't say that I fully endorse it, obviously, but I think as a project, it's a very interesting thing, and it's great that there's just so many people still playing, and still making rhythm charts for it.
Yeah, that was a nicely diplomatic answer there. I appreciate that. So there you go, hopefully you found that interesting. As for why I didn't include that in my original video, in case you're wondering, to be honest, I just didn't feel it was all that relevant. My video, I wanted to focus on the original games, the two Dawn games and EBA, and how those games came to be, who made them, why there won't be any more of them. And so I feel like it would have complicated the narrative to have Ors in there as well, because I really wanted to focus on just the people who made these games, Innis, those guys, and I feel like it would have been tangential for me to then go off and say, oh, at least this other team made Ors, this fan game. It would have complicated the emotional narrative I was going for. I wanted it to have a bit of a tinge of sadness to the end, It's supposed to be a celebration of those games, but to also revel in the sadness of, hey, this is why there won't be any more of them. So hopefully people understand what I mean by that. Hopefully I don't come off as too pretentious for saying that my YouTube video had an emotional narrative. But there you go, that's the honest truth of why that isn't in there, and I hope you found this interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter for updates. Check me out on Patreon for more content like podcasts. Bye for now.